Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. It is once again very rainy out. We've actually been getting a lot of rain lately, which, you know what? It is April, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because, April showers bring May flowers. Actually, I can kind of see leaf buds growing out of trees. Like those little red seedlings you see on trees before leaves grow back in. I'm kind of seeing that a little bit. So it's getting there. Very slowly but surely. Let's get to my little act of kindness. It's weird. I actually went to a whole bunch of different places last night. I went to Nick's, I went to Illegal Tap House, went to Patrick's, went to Round and Third, and not much was really going on. It was pretty mundane, actually. But you know what? I think it's like the calm before the storm because next weekend is Easter. So I think some people are trying to save some people are probably saving their energy for tonight. But I think things are really gonna pick up when we get to next weekend. Actually, yeah, I'm running a little late, so I gotta get my shoes on. But my high is I still had a nice time going out, being out and about. Full stop, I saw no one that I knew, but you know what? You don't know unless you try. And that's honestly the most important thing. And what was my act of kindness? Actually, you know what? My act of kindness was, because I visited my parents really my dad, and we emptied the dishwasher for them last night. Oh, my dad and I emptied the dishwasher for my mom last night. So, that happened. Let's see. You know what? Since I just realized that this is the last weekend before Easter, well, technically I can't really say this until tomorrow, but, happy Palm Sunday weekend, everyone. If you don't know what Palm Sunday is, it's quite simple. As some of you guys probably know, we're in Lent right now, and as of right now, Lent is almost over. It officially ends on Easter Sunday, which is next week. Now, this week, however, is known as Palm Sunday. And, Palm Sunday was always growing up, Palm Sunday really was a lot of fun. Because, actually, let me finish tying my shoes so I can better explain it. Give me a second. These shoes actually come untied pretty easily, so as silly as it sounds, I gotta double knot these. Hold on. There we go. Actually, hold on. I actually still have these from a year ago. Actually, from the last couple of years. But, these are palms. They're incredibly dried out right now, but every year, on Palm Sunday, in this case it's today, when you go to church, you get to grab a couple of these. Oh, almost fell off there. Now, the significance of why it's called Palm Sunday, other than the fact that we get palms when we go to church, are a little bit vague. However, one fun fact about this weekend is whatever palms aren't used or picked up during services, they're actually burned down into ashes that are used for Ash Wednesday next year. So, good use of unused product, I guess. But to me, growing up, this weekend really was always kind of a mixed bag. Because I really did enjoy the fact that Easter was almost here, and by extension, I mean, technically we are in spring, but like warmer weather felt like it was coming, you know? But it was always on this weekend that I really also kind of dreaded because we had to read the Passion of the Christ in church. Yeah, so if you don't know, it's basically the story of how Jesus had gotten crucified. And we have to read the entire story from beginning to end. From when Jesus enters Jerusalem until he essentially becomes resurrected. That's pretty, well, until he dies, essentially. But he eventually becomes resurrected afterwards. So, yeah, that's what we gotta do. Now, if the story also sounds familiar to non-Christians, it just might, because Mel Gibson actually tried making a movie about it. At the time, it was actually the highest grossing movie ever made. At that time, that is. This is like in the early 2000s, so, I mean, that number's been... Actually, how much did that movie make? I'm going to look that up right now. Give me a moment. Okay, it was 2004 when it came out. How much did it make? Okay, on a budget of $30 million, it made $612.1 million. So, it made 20 times and change its money back. Which, you know, is interesting. Okay, I'm not really getting how much. I mean, I just said how much it grossed, but like, at the time, it really was like one of the highest grossing films ever. Hold on. Okay, at the end of its theatrical run, it was the 5th highest grossing film of that year. But it's the highest grossing with inflation adjusted, it's the highest grossing Christian film of all time. As well as also the highest grossing independent film of all time. Oh. I actually had no idea this was an indie film. I think that's how it works. Hold on. Alright, so, yeah. So, it's also incredibly controversial. The movie is. Due in no small part to how a certain group of people in the movie are represented. Now, granted, this movie takes place during a time when people acted the way they did back then. And while it is important to learn from that and not make those same mistakes, it's also a certain group of people that you do not, under any circumstances, insult or mess with. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Personally, I never really saw The Passion. I mean, again, I go to church every week. I've listened to The Passion of the Christ for the last 35 years. Well, this year will be 35. You know, I know how the story goes. I don't don't need to see a movie to explain it. Even though, like, and I'm a firm believer in, like, movies being a lot better of an adaptation than most people give it credit for. When done correctly, of course. But, honestly, I got no intention of watching that movie, nor will I ever do that. But with that said, there are definitely people that have watched it and definitely felt, spiritually awakened, I guess. Reaffirmed their faith, in other words. And if that worked for you, more power to you. But me personally, I know who I am. I know I am Catholic. I am proud of the fact that I'm Catholic. I never judge anyone else if you're not. We don't do that. But yeah, honestly, it's a movie that I'm better off not seeing. Again, I mean, while it has helped a lot of people reaffirm their faith, it has, can't deny that. I also can't deny that it put a certain group of people in a negative light. So, definitely some bad with some good there. I mean, me personally, here's the thing. Even though we read the Passion of the Christ every year this weekend on Palm Sunday, it used to be like, I used to dread it because, like, reading the Passion takes a long time. But I gotta say, the last couple of years, hasn't really been the case. It's actually gone pretty quickly. I mean, I think it makes the Mass time go another 15 minutes or so. But it used to take, like, a half hour alone just to get through, like, 2/3 of it. It was insane. Then again, I think people understand how long it is, so we do kind of, because it's one of those things where you gotta participate in the service, because the people in church have speaking lines and stuff, is in the crowd of people. And I think we all understand like how long this takes, so I think we also try and read it fast. Maybe that's how it works. So, I mean, listen, if you really want to see the Mel Gibson's The Passion, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. It's none of my business. If you actually want to read the story of the Passion of the Christ yourself, you can just read the Bible. I mean, actually, hold on a minute. I could have sworn I actually have this somewhere. Huh. Hold on. I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. I knew it was here somewhere. This is the Bible I got in 4th grade. I still have it after all these. Oh my God. September of 1999. That's when I got this. Crazy, right? And since I hardly ever opened it, it's still got the little plastic thing on top of it. Still looks pretty good. No tears or nothing. It's actually a pretty solid job keeping this in pretty good condition, huh? So, if you actually want to read the Passion, read one of these. Of course, for my money, if you really want to do and read anything that has the word passion in it, just watch the South Park episode, Passion of the Jew. It's funnier. And pretty much what made a lot of slightly sadistic people like myself were thinking at the time. So yeah, it's Palm Sunday. You know, Easter's right around the corner. If you're watching this and you're Christian or Catholic, you know, happy Palm Sunday. You know, be sure to get yourself some palms. Be sure to get yourself some palms for friends and loved ones who are unable to attend the services. And actually, that also reminds me, back when my grandma was alive, my parents we'd make sure that we'd get my grandparents palms too. I mean, back when they were able to go, they got their own palms, but you know, I've had to get my grandparents' palms a couple of times. My hard times have changed, huh? Love you, Grandma. So, yeah, again, if you're celebrating Palm Sunday, happy Palm Sunday, be sure you get yourself some palms. Yes, I know today is Saturday, but the services in church this weekend are going to read I mean, listen, fun fact, if you're Catholic and you go to church on Sunday, only on Sunday, guess what? If you go on Saturday, it is the exact same reading. Same thing all throughout the weekend. You will not be missing anything. And because I've been going to church twice a week, as long as we're not up at Cuca Lake on Sundays, you know, I'm in for 2 very long, but honestly, rather nice services. I mean, again, I know I just made fun of how long reading the Passion can be, but I also can't deny it's, you know, far from being the worst thing you can do. You know, and again, a lot of people, especially this time of year, actually feel emotionally and spiritually uplifted from reading it. So, who am I to say that how they feel is wrong about that? But if it's not your thing, I understand too. Listen, if nothing else, this will always be a safe space for everyone. It doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what, you know, gender you are, what race you are, what your sexual orientation is, nothing. This will always be a safe space. I mean, it's literally just me. What am I going to do? I've got like nothing here. You know, and now that I'm just thinking about maybe I should watch the South Park episode Passion of the Jew. It has been a good while since I've seen it. I mean, listen, South Park during that time definitely holds up even today, so yeah. Maybe I'll find some time to do that. I hope you all like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys watching and enjoying today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, Chad is going to be here until London, you know, always have your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.